Afternoon, chaps. Before I started press record, I was about to say good morning, but it's not morning. It's not. It's now 12:15. But because I slept most of the morning, I don't know. I don't feel like it's still like it's the afternoon, because to me, it's the morning. But hi, and welcome to your last procrastinating of 2014. There's only been like 6 of them, so it's not like we've missed a load, but I thought I'd do one this morning, afternoon, whatever time of day it is, damn it, I don't know, because I also wanted, partly going to use it to talk about sort of, I think, like, goals type things for next year, and also to show you, look, I'm making a scarf, it is stripy. And that's because the yarn is stripy, not because I have any magic ability to change colours while I'm knitting, because I have no idea. Because, oh, thank you emergency services for going to help people. Ooh, it's an ambulance. I get loads of, like, ambulances flying past at all hours. But yes, I want to talk about sort of kind of reading goals and other goals for next year, because my god, it's 2014's over, and that's weird. And it's been a sort of weird kind of year, because like the first kind of like half of the year was, in terms of book kind of things, was kind of amazing, because the amount of like events, like author events that I got to go to with Jess was incredible. We met so many authors over this year, which has been so amazing, because we met Lainey Taylor in Birmingham, and she said she liked my t-shirt, which is amazing, and also we met David Levithan, we met Lee Bardugo and Moira Young. Who else did we meet? There was another one we went to, but I can't remember. But we went to YELC and we met so many authors there. We met CJ Scoos, we met Holly Bourne, we met Holly Black, we met Matt Haig, we saw Mallory Blackman, Patrick Ness, who I told him that he made me cry, and he's like, good. It's like, and basically just, Amy, I want to keep saying Amy McCulloch, but it's not, it's Amy Allwood now, and Natasha Nagan, just so many authors we got to meet, and Rainbow Rowell. Fuck, how did I forget Rainbow Rowell? My brain is just so not functioning yet this morning, but just so many amazing authors, and obviously so many other like book people, and like bloggers and like people who I still speak to on Twitter, which is amazing. And it's like, I really want for them to announce for YLC 2015, so I can then make my plans to go back and meet all of these people again, because it was such a fantastic event to meet so many people like me, who love books, and who didn't think it weird that we were dragging an owl printed trolley around a giant convention centre because it was full of books. It's like, that is what I want from 2015. I want to be able to sort of meet all of like BookCon friends. That's just something that I really want. In terms of like kind of other things, this year's been a bit of a mixed bag, because I finished my apprenticeship as a teaching assistant, and then promptly did not apply to get another teaching assistant job, because I need a break from that. And then I've started 2 Open University modules, which is potentially a mistake, because it's a little tricky, and I'm in the new year I need to rededicate myself now that my period of working at Waterstones is it's over, unless I hear otherwise, which would be amazing, but I don't. It's not good to pin all my hopes on that. But I kind of had a period of very bad neglect of my OU, which, to my own disappointment of myself and my own self-loathing, it's like, yeah, I still got a 78 on my French assignment that I did on the day it was due and submitted 6 hours late. I'm a piece of shit. I know this. I know this very well. And it's not really fair. that I still do that. I still get the same grade that I got for the one before that I put a lot more work into. It's just very annoying that that happens. But I have a writing one due for early January, which I need to really get on with but I'm kind of, it's semi-cheating because got to write a short story, but I'm using the story that I technically already have mostly written, that I did in August, and I'm just kind of like rewriting, like adding extra, because it's bizarrely too short. I need to actually add a bit more to make it longer, and then edit the fuck out of it. But it's kind of like reread it, because when I wrote it, it was for, as a kind of extra, like a kind of almost like a prequel short to my novel that I've been writing, and it's like, I wrote it in first person POV rather than third person, which is what I've written most of the book in, and it was just more of a kind of, I'd gone into a sort of major like writing slump because I just finished the Winner's Curse by Mary Ritkoski, and she basically just that book sent me into a sort of slight depression about my novel, going, holy fuck, mine's never going to be this good, and it was just literally, I kind of crashed for a bit, and then I kind of sort of faced my Jess and Lily and Chris. I think that's around that time is when I started talking to Chris as well on Twitter. Hi guys, and basically sort of saying, just write something, and then I kind of did, and then this piece is what came out of it, and it was a lot more kind of raw and emotional than it had originally meant to be, and so I kind of like, I'm using that as the sort of base point for this, and then it's just kind of a matter of adding extra details so people who haven't read all of the obviously unpublished draft of my book know what the fuck is going on, because otherwise you're getting dropped into an unknown fantasy world. You have no idea who this girl is, because I don't actually mention her name in the entirety of the piece, and it's kind of at the point where she's sort of just creating a new identity for herself, so it's kind of like right at the end, that's when her name will get mentioned, but it's just, it kind of worked as a sort of, that could be a good short story thing, and it has an actual kind of, it has a sort of story arc even though it's so short, and I'm usually terrible at writing short stories because most of the ideas I have just are built for really long things, and it's just, but yes, that's what I've got to be doing. I meant to do that today, but obviously I slept loads, so that was silly. But maybe after this I shall go out and actually try and write some of it, because Leboiv's at work, because he has 2 days of work and then he has 5 days off. 5 days off for around the new year, which is very good. Do excuse me. But yes, in terms of reading goals for next year, I need to reread less. I've been saying it for fucking years, but I do. I really do. Because I was looking at my reading journal the other night, and it's like, basically this time last year I was rereading the Alana Song of the Lioness Quartet, which ironically my boyfriend's reading right now, which is so amazing. He's got through the first book and he's down to the second, and he's not talked about it very much to me at the moment, so it's just like, I'm kind of, what do you think? And he's so far enjoying and liking Tamora Pierce's writing, so I'm like, yes, excellent. Obviously he's not gonna be like quite the person that I'm gonna fangirl about all of the amazing Tamora Pierce men with, because that's going to be a little bit weird. But I did have a slight fangirl with Mel Salisbury on Twitter yesterday. She's written the Sin Eater's Daughter, I believe. I'm not going crazy, am I, when I say this? Because she started reading Song of the Lioness, and I just fangirl, because I am just a massive Tamora Pierce fangirl, and there's just not enough people that I know in my sort of day-to-day life who have read her books that I can fangirl about adorable rogues with. It's just, Scholastic need to sort themselves out and just start reprinting her books, please, now, and just do a massive relaunch with them, going, look, you're after a new fantasy author to fill the void of, I don't know, anything, or while you're waiting for your next book from somebody else who's taking years. Tamora Pierce, she's got 26 books, that's more than enough to keep you going. Admittedly, some of them are very short and you kind of want to just have like 12 times the amount of writing for... It's like, I want to know what's going on in like every single aspect of Caladri's life ever, because Caladri is my girl, and it's just, I want to know about all the adventures in like sort of the Circle of Magic universe that are not in the actual books. Like, I want to know about the incident where the four kids set a barn on fire when they tried alcohol for the first time. That sounds amazing. I want to know about that. But it's like, I need other people to read her books and feel this level of love for her characters that I do. I just need it. But yeah, I'm getting sidetracked. Yeah, basically, I can't have like 20 odd of or like 12 or something of my reads from next year being Tomorrow Pierce rereads. I really shouldn't. I also, although I probably still will do it, I shouldn't really reread the entire Shattermead trilogy and the novellas next year, because I've read them twice just this year, the whole thing through. I have. It's like, I didn't count the second read because obviously I already read it once this year, and for most of them it was already a reread because Ignite Me came out early this year. Shit, it's not last year yet, and so it's just, I shouldn't reread all of that, but I probably will. But I've got so many trilogies that I need to finish, like reading second and third books. Obviously, I've got to actually read Insurgent and Allegiant for when the film comes out, although that teaser trailer just looks weird as hell, and I have no idea what the hell's going on there. But I've got so many others to finish, and there's also going to be the Bloodlines series that's finishing late this month or start of February. So, and since I've not read past like book 3, I kind of need to have a big just marathon all of them, and there's just basically a lot of series that have finished recently that I've got some of. So before I get started into any other series, I need to kind of finish all of the ones that I have, and then decide what I'm doing. And I also need to sort of cull out, I think, some books. I need to also read more non-fiction. I have currently about 26, like, the kind of non-fiction that you would sit down and read all of, not the sort of dip in and out, like, reference kind of non-fiction. I have a lot of reference non-fiction, but not that many actual TBR non-fiction. But I got a lot for Christmas, so it's like, I should probably I want to try and get like 2 non-fiction books done a month, and basically have my rereads as no more than 20% of my reading. No more than 20%. I don't know what total to say to try and get to, because I was trying for like 150 this year and I'm like 125. I am about literally sort of 2 months behind that kind of total because of the months where I've had 4-5 books read all month. I've had months where I've done about 12, but then there's others when I've just had like 5. So obviously my total of 150 is just not going to happen. But whether I try and just say, okay, let's try for 130 next year, or just say 120, because if I'm going to still be writing as much, because I've still not finished my first draft. I've still got about, is it like 6 to 10 scenes, something like that. I've still got 10 or 20,000 words to write until that first draft is finished, and then it's like there's a few scenes. There's a scene that I need to rewrite as like the first thing to rewrite for the second draft, and that's gonna be basically kind of right at the start, and then I've got to work through it, and there's chapters that I need to secondary stories that I need to actually write within it. That there was a whole sort of 3 or 4 POV chapters that I never actually wrote, because I didn't actually think of them until like a good way through the actual process. So it's like I've got to do all that, but I kind of still want, at some point, I think maybe whether before January's out, I want to have that finished so I can actually like print out my entire novel and then attack it with coloured pens. That's kind of what I want. To have like a stack of like 400 word pages of my writing is something very, very exciting, and I would be very glad to see that. So yeah, there's not many goals that I have for many goals that I have for reading next year. 120 books, we'll say. At least 2 non-fiction a month, because I want to get through all these non-fiction, and I just need to. But I also, there's a lot of books that I've had sat around on my shelves for years that I really need to, I kind of need to have a thing where I have a list. I need to get through at least 2 old TBR books, and not just going for all the new ones I've had recently. So it's like, I need to kind of get through all of the old stuff, because I've got The Book Thief to read. I've had that since probably before 2009, and that's terrible. But this now is very long, and I've done 2 rows of I'm doing single rib knitting, which is quite fun. And because of how this yarn is, there's occasionally just random like splodges where like the dye is not quite thing, where there's just patches of dark in the light sections, which is strange. But yeah, so at some point I might actually do a blog post with my actual reading goals and like my favourites for 2014, because I have gone through my stats and looked at, okay, what's the new reads and what's kind of got the highest ones for each month. So it's not going to work out as like straight 12. There are more than that. There was like one month where I had like, ironically, it's July. I think it was July. Like post YLC, where I just read so many YLC books that was just amazing. So I should hopefully do that soon. Hopefully soon. And depending on whether I read anything else before the end of the year. I'm tempted not, because I'm now at 125, because I read You Had Me at Hello. I read all of it. I was up till 2. God damn it. But yes, I should do that. And I shall perhaps do soon another, like, I did film like a knitting equipment and crap stuff that I have, but I now have a load of needles that I've acquired from my mother. So I might do that soon, because I'm also wanted to go to Hobbycraft and get stuff, because supplies! This is very long now, I'm sorry. But yes, I shall see you guys real soon. Bye.